Ich darf euch ganz, ganz herzlich begrüßen. Noch herzlicher begrüße ich neben mir unseren Coach, Johannes Hoftorup und Mecki. Kurz organisatorisch, wir haben alle unsere Infos für die Fans, die Karten haben, sind auf unserer Webseite nachzulesen. Und wir gedenken wir dann morgen einem ganz großen Rapidler, 100 Jahre wäre alt geworden, Freddy Körner, und gratulieren, glaube ich, auf diesem Weg natürlich auch schon unserem Jahrhundert-Rapidler Hans Krankl, der mal 73 Jahre jung wird, jetzt hätte ich ihn zu alt gemacht. Bad würde jetzt gleich zum Aktuellen kommen und unseren Trainer bitten. Johannes, your first real derby, I think. Of course, your first derby as a coach. Could you tell us some of your expectations and some news in head of this game on Sunday?
Yeah, of course. I think like everyone can feel, it's an exciting week. We just do our best in terms of making sure that we are as prepared as possible. We know it's going to be a tough game. We know it's going to be a hard fight, and we have to have solutions for that. We have to give them a fight as well, and then we have to be able to show. Are you okay down there? Huh? Mobile in the press conference. Yeah. You give me a beer after the game Sunday. That's on you. Yes, we have prepared, and we'll still use the day tomorrow to prepare as good as possible. It's a thing where the emotions is a part of it, and we have to show that we are ready for that, and we fight as good as we possibly can. But it's also a game where we have to take the emotions a little bit out and really play clever, and not being caught up in moments where we're not clever enough. And I think that's been a big thing for us this week, so we can do both in the game. We can show passion, we can show heart, and we can show cleverness on the pitch as well. So that's probably the main thinking going into the game.
Thanks. Dann kurz wieder geswitcht. Markus Kratzer, für dich eines der vielen, vielen Derbys, die du in unterschiedlicher Funktion erleben wirst. Auch ein paar Sätze von dir zur Bedeutung dieses Spiels generell, aber natürlich ganz besonders in unserer aktuellen Situation, und vielleicht auch noch 2, 3 Sätze. Seit wir letztes Mal hier gesessen sind, hat es ja doch noch 2 Transfers, Abgänge in dem Fall gegeben. Was war da noch der Hintergrund?
Ja, es ist so, dass wir schon noch am Transfermarkt tätig waren. Ich habe es letztes Mal so ausgedrückt, aber eigentlich gemeint, dass wir keine Transfer mehr von uns wegmachen mit Spielern, die regelmäßig spielen, dass wir natürlich schon Situationen wahrnehmen für Spieler, die jetzt nicht diese Spielminuten gehabt haben, wie zum Beispiel für Andrea Radulovic, den wir jetzt zu Hapoel Haifa noch verliehen haben. Das ist eine Win-Win-Situation für beide Seiten. Wir wollen einfach, dass er Spielpraxis kriegt, dass er Spiele macht, dass er seinen Marktwert haltet oder sogar erhöhen kann. Und dann schaut man im Sommer, wie es dann mit ihm weitergeht. So dass wir einen Furkan Dursun von St. Pölten, also über die Leihe zu FC Thun verkauft haben. Ist ein junger Spieler, der auch diesen Wunsch geäußert hat, das machen zu wollen. Es kann zum Tabellenersten in die Schweiz gehen, hat Spielpraxis in St. Pölten sammeln können, war es jetzt aber auch nicht klar, ob er jetzt im Frühjahr auch diesen Stammplatz halten kann, und somit ist diese Entscheidung dann dafür gefallen. Wiener Derby, ohne dass ich jetzt irgendwelche Floskeln raushau, jeder kennt die Wichtigkeit von so einem Spiel. Unabhängig davon, glaube ich, sind wir in einer Situation, wo, wenn wir so ein Spiel gewinnen, dann auch das Momentum dann wieder in eine ganz andere Richtung drehen können. Das ist uns bewusst. Ich glaube, dass es klar ist, welche Tugend man auf den Platz bringen muss, dass man so ein Spiel gewinnt. Unabhängig, dass man das sowieso immer bringen muss, aber gerade in so einem Spiel einfach Herzleidenschaft, so wie es der Coach auch formuliert hat. Ich habe viele Derbys bestritten als Spieler und jetzt auch als Sportdirektor. Ich kann nur sagen, ich freue mich richtig drauf, weil es einfach immer ein cooles Spiel ist, egal ob es bei uns ist oder auswärts. Und das erste Mal auch wieder mit Auswärtsfans, was sicher auch stimmungstechnisch ein Vorteil ist und nochmal die Atmosphäre ein bisschen noch mehr hochkochen lässt. Somit freue ich mich aufs Spiel. Man sieht auch in den Trainings und Wochen und auch im letzten Spiel, speziell zweite Halbzeit, dass die Mannschaft Schritte nach vorne macht, dass sich es entwickelt. Was uns halt fehlt, ist dieses Erfolgserlebnis, und wenn wir da im Derby wirklich voll punkten können, glaube ich, kann das schon extrem viel bewegen, und wir werden alles dafür tun.
Dankeschön, und darf ich euch um eure Fragen bitten? Mikrofon ist unterwegs, bitte Florian. an den Martin Lang.
Coach, any changes necessary? Because from my point of view, not necessary. But do you see it especially offensive game needs also to get in more and more? So not really. So should be more or less the same squad or not?
I think there will be changes because every game is a new game and it's a new game plan, and it's probably a little bit different from the game we just played. For this game, we have to, of course, first and all, understand how important it is, and that we are willing to show that in the tough moments of the game we are ready to fight, and we can do that as well. I think that's important to put on a team where there have to be some players that have experience in doing that. But then, of course, also the way for us to win the game is to play the way we did in second half the other day, and probably even better than that. So that's the way for us to win. So like I said in the beginning, it's about finding that balance to work hard, fight hard, and then also show our skills in the moment where we have the opportunity to do that. And it's a different game, it's a different team that we play against. So we have tried different combinations out here on the grass this week, and there will probably be 1 or 2 changes from the game.
Dankeschön. Bitte, Rainer Bortenschlager.
How fit is Johannes Horn?
He is fit and will be in the team for the game.
After the hardback game, you went to the Block West when the players didn't know should they go or should not go, and you were the first one to go there and try to motivate it. What is the reason for that? What was your feeling and thinking about the whole atmosphere in the stadium after the 1-1 draw?
I think actually after the Ried game, we discussed with the players how we should always treat the fans, and we agreed on that no matter the result in the game, we should always go down to our fans and applaud them, and if it's away, then of course we appreciate that they're traveling. That's the least thing you can do as a team, and we should always do that. So we agreed on that, and we started in Ried, where some players were probably in doubt of how we do it, but now we have decided on how we do it, and we should always do that. And I think my motivation for the home game was just, I know that fans and also players were disappointed with the result, but I hope that also some could see that there was positives in that second half. And if we don't have the fans behind us when we are on the journey here for the rest of the season, then we have absolutely no chance. So it's also a signal for me to go down there and appreciate their support, because that's amazing for 90 minutes, both in Ried and the last game we played. We cannot complain about that. But also just to kind of show them that we really appreciate them and we need them for the last part of the journey here. So that was just me doing something, and the players, they of course followed up, and will do that in every game we play from now on, because they are a big part of what we do.
Thank you. Bitte, Martin.
Coach, do you feel that probably the underdog role is now a little bit an advantage?
So you called it an underdog role?
Because Austria Vienna now has also more self-confidence because of the victory against Salzburg. So it seems, not from this part of the table, that Rapid Vienna is a little bit the underdog in this derby, and it's probably an advantage.
Maybe. We have to find out. We have to wait and see. I would say a derby is always tricky, because I think you can actually take the recent form out of the context and position in the league table out of context. I think there's some different at stake when it's a game like that, and I think you can just go back in time and see teams where they have been in form and on top, and then the derby comes, and then it's completely different. We can just take our position. Last time we played them at home, we were probably the team in form in that moment, but a completely different result compared to that. So it is such a different game in many, many ways. So if there's an underdog or whatever, please call us. What do you want to call us? I just want to see the right team win on Sunday.
Bitte, Peter.
Danke. Did you have in Denmark a derby?
Yeah, there's a smaller one in the club that I come from. It's the northern part of just Copenhagen, where it's two clubs close to each other. That's a derby. It's not. Both teams don't have the biggest stadiums. I think 10,000 on both of the stadiums. But that's a derby, yeah. And then of course there is the big derby in Denmark, the FC Copenhagen against Brøndby, where I think it's more or less world famous for fans and intensity and everything. So yeah, I've seen quite a bit. Against Lyngby. Yeah. I think the distance between the two clubs is 10-15 minutes from the same region, more or less, in Denmark. But as I said, not big stadiums, so it's a little bit smaller than what we can expect here. No, because unfortunately Ipswich was in the Premier League when I was in Norwich, so that's the only derby they have, and I didn't get to play that one.
The situation of Yusuf Demir.
It's I would like to say a little bit better than I expected, because he comes from a long time without football and not doing really competitive football. So he's been fully integrated in the training the whole week, and is training, with the team and everything we do. So he's in contention for a position in the squad for Sunday.
Thank you. Bitte. Moritz Ettlinger for Standard.
Hi, Coach.
Hi.
A question about Andy Weimann. Does he know all the names already? And and how important will he be on Sunday?
Yeah, you have to ask him that question, because I don't know how quick a learner he is. He's ready for Sunday, and I think, of course, hopefully even better, because now he's at a full week of training. Last time it was 1 day. But of course, with the striker situation, we think that was a good game for him to start, and it can be a different approach that we have to the game on Sunday. You have to wait and see, because we still have Verci, of course, as a weapon for us as well. And I just told them, both of them, that I will choose from game to game what I think is the right fit for a striker. What do we need in a striker for the games that we play, and that's also what they will see. Of course, they can give themselves an advantage by scoring a lot of goals. Then I think I will prefer that one.
And one question about the opponent: are there any players that you have paid particularly attention to? Any preparations before the game?
Yeah, there's more players. Of course, they have a striker up front with experience from the German Bundesliga. That is one where we have to be cautious about him when we attack, that we always keep an eye on where he moves, because he's a way out for them to find transition moments always. Then I think they have a quite strong and solid backline with players playing a lot of games together. I know one of them was out suspended the last game they played, so maybe he will come back to the lineup. We have to wait and see, but no matter what, it's a quite strong backline. And also how they can shape their midfield it can be a little bit different. We've seen Lee both play as a defender, as a midfielder. They have different opportunities in that. So again, some of it we have to wait and see until the game is there. But no matter how they line up, there's some strong players. There's also another one coming back. I think he was out with some family issues or something like that in the Salzburg game. No. I'm talking about Boateng so we have to wait and see, but I think they have a lot of good players, but first and foremost, probably a really good team, where I think you can see that they've had time together and they have developed as a team together, and their strength is probably that they can more or less have the same approach every game they play, and they can do what they normally do, and they can just be better and better within that, and I think that's what carries them at the moment.
Geschön. Bitte, Martin.
Especially in England, on special Sunday games, it's probably a dress code with club suit, or Rapid Wien is a workers' club. You come only in sports jacket, or special Sunday dress code.
I've not been given a club suit yet, so that's not an option for me. I can say already now. So Yeah, normally I dress quite, not too fancy. I will say I'm not a big fashion guy. So I take something on, or put something on that I think will be nice to wear, and don't interrupt me too much with that. So no, I haven't thought about it. You will have to wait and see. First time I got a question about clothes, I think, in my career as a coach.
Bitte, Clemens, für die Austria Presseagentur.
When you came to Vienna, you brought an outside perspective with you in terms of the club, in terms of the players, and in terms of the team culture. What's your assessment after 6 weeks and 2 matches played?
My assessment is that there's a lot of good players, if we start there. It's a team where we have to probably give them a little bit more clarity in how they should play the game. So we call it principles instead of rules. We work a lot with principles in different situations in the game, both defensively and offensively, because I think they need that to be able to, shape a team that can be competitive and can be competitive week in, week out. To be absolutely honest, I don't think we are there yet, but we are working as fast as we can to get there. And I hope that Sunday will be even better than last game we played, because that tells me we are in the right direction. But some good players where I think they need a little bit more clarity in what they do in the games, and we try to bring them that in trainings and games, so they know exactly what we expect from them and how we see it. And then a fact is that for us to be a winning club, which we simply have to be, then we probably have to do some changes. And Meki and I have started more or less from day one to see where is it we can improve, how fast can we do it, where is it we have to start, and how fast can we get started. But also we have to accept and respect that not everything can be changed from day one. So there's some bigger things where we have done it and tried to do it already, and there will be more things along the way.
Okay, and what changes do you mean exactly?
Yeah, but that's also with respect. I cannot dig too much into exactly, but there's a culture on how we, what do we expect from players when they arrive in the morning? How do we monitorize them when they come in? What kind of data and numbers is it we need? How do we shape the first meetings, team meetings? When do we have them? How often do we have them? What do I expect from them when we train? What do I expect from the staff members also when we train? How many staff members needs to be present on the pitch? How many needs to be on a first team session? What do we do after the session? How and when do we treat the players? When do we communicate to each other around that? When do we plan the next day and the next week? And all these small things where, not to save my own position, but every time you change coach, he will probably come in with new ideas and new way of doing this, where what we try to do as a moment is to make it more like a club thing, something that the club will always do. And then the coaches need to fit into that. So it's smaller things and it's bigger things, but there's been a lot of changes so far, but it's the whole environment, the structure, how we work, who's responsible for what, and we are probably looking at everything.
But when you mention something like timetable or when the players have to come and something like that, did you had the feeling there's something missing in professional behavior or in terms of the club?
What is important to understand is that this is my way of thinking professional behavior. Okay. So I have to respect that some coaches do it different. But let me just give you an example. I plan the week, and I let the coaches know already on Sunday what's the week going to look like in terms of training. All the coaches. Then we plan every afternoon the next training exactly into details. Then we plan every morning at 8 the video meeting that we're going to have with the players every day. Then we plan at 8:30 the drills, the training session, who's responsible for what, who will have what tasks on the pitch, and who's available players. Meaning that we have to know exactly the players available for the session before 8 o'clock. So that means if you're injured, you have to be here in the house at 7 or 7:30 for a check with the physio department or physical department. And that was probably new for some of them. Okay. And then we always, as a team and staff members, have breakfast together. I don't know if it was new, but that's something we always do. That's the way we start the day when everything is planned and prepared. And then we have a team meeting every day at after breakfast, where we introduce what we're going to do today. And then some days there can also be something after that. It can be in smaller groups, it can be individual, whatever. But that is also planned. And I think that's the thing we can do and we can affect. That is to make sure that everything is covered. And then we have to support the players by doing it as good as possible with the way that we coach them. And I cannot say if that's the most professional way to do it, but it's my way of working with a football team and being professional, where there should be as few things as possible that we didn't know about, or we don't know about, or we haven't prepared.
How did the players respond? Was there a big awakening, or was it just like, okay, it's just small changes?
I think for some of them it was small changes, for some of them it's probably bigger changes. The training is very, very important for us. So how we prepare that, we cannot just do that half an hour before the training starts. It's something that goes into weekly planning and probably even monthly planning. But then also looking at the opponents that we're going to play against. So have a little bit of tactical work already starting from 3, 4, 5 days before the game. So it is probably changes for a lot of them, and then some of them they are just they find it natural and they find it, you know, as a part of football, and some of them have to get used to it. But that's how it is when you start as a new coach and when there's probably a new environment started to be built. But what I have seen so far is really a lot of hard-working players and dedicated players. And also players now already asking for more feedback after training sessions and really engaging with it. So what I see is really positive for many of them.
Okay, thank you very much. Eine Frage noch an den Sportchef. Nachdem die Schlagzeilen Rapid drumherum nicht so super positiv waren die letzten Wochen, versuche ich es ein bisschen positiver anzugehen. Du hast gesagt, die Vorfreude auf Sonntag ist groß. Was stimmt dich optimistisch, dass das ein toller Tag aus Rapid-Sicht wird am Sonntag?
Weil ich einfach davon überzeugt bin, ich meine, das unabhängig davon, dass ja auch die Vergangenheit bewiesen hat, dass unabhängig davon, wer jetzt der Underdog ist oder der Favorit ist, dass das wirklich ein offenes Spiel sein kann und auch sein wird. Davon bin ich einfach überzeugt, dass die Chancen sehr, sehr ähnlich oder gleich sind, vielleicht minimal besser für die Austria. Das kann man vielleicht auch so sagen, aber am Ende ist es ein Spiel, wo wir viel Kraft sammeln können, jetzt insgesamt das Club, jeder weiß, was das Derby bedeutet, jetzt nicht nur für die Mannschaft oder fürs Trainerteam, sondern auch einfach für die Fans. Und ich glaube einfach, dass man, wenn man alles ehrlich analysiert, sieht, wenn man die gesamte Saison sich anschaut, ne, wie wir gestartet sind, das haben wir jetzt schon 100-mal besprochen, das will ich jetzt gar nicht aufwärmen. Aber wie denn dieser Abfall war, man hat schon gesehen, was in der Mannschaft einfach drinnen steckt. Was ich jetzt sehe mit dem ersten Training von Johannes, dass dieses Selbstvertrauen langsam zurückkommt, dass wir da und dort schon noch sehen, dass wir zu wenig konstant sind in dieser Form, weil halt einfach eine gewisse Serie an Niederlagen oder nicht gewonnenen Spielen dann auch nicht spurlos an einen Spieler vorbeigeht oder an einer Mannschaft vorbeigeht. Deswegen ist dieser Sieg oder den wir brauchen, um diese Energie wieder neu aufzuladen und wieder zu bekommen, einfach ganz wichtig. Und deswegen bin ich überzeugt, wenn ich mir das Training anschaue, wenn ich mir die tägliche Arbeit anschaue, wie die Spieler jetzt am Platz agieren und wie es noch vor 5, 6 Wochen war, dann bin ich einfach positiv und das stimmt mich positiv. Und deswegen will ich nochmal an die Saison appellieren. Wir haben einen Zeitpunkt gehabt, wo dieselbe Mannschaft mit 5 Punkten Erster war und das Derby bestritten hat und wir haben dann 3-1 verloren. Das war eigentlich so ein bisschen der Beginn von dieser ganzen Misere dann im Herbst. Und jetzt haben wir die Chance, das vielleicht mit einem Derby in eine andere Richtung zu bringen. Und deswegen bin ich sehr optimistisch, dass wir am Sonntag diesen vollen Dreier einfangen können und einfach die Situation ändern.
Aber siehst du Rapid als Underdog oder ist es eigentlich ein Match auf Augenhöhe? Weil ich meine, punktemäßig seid ihr nicht weit auseinander, muss man sagen, es ist halt ein Auswärtsspiel. Es geht ja da ums Momentum. Also ich würde sagen, dass wir schon durch diese Serie und nicht gewonnenen Spielen und dass Austria Wien letzte Woche Freitag gegen Salzburg gewonnen hat, auswärts,
vielleicht ein bisschen ein besseres Momentum hat, aber das ist minimal und das Derby an sich immer ein offenes Spiel ist, egal wer dann ein bisschen ein besseres Momentum hat oder nicht. Wenn am Sonntag anpfiffen wird, das Spiel, dann wird man sehen, wer wie reinstartet und wie das Spiel verläuft. Und ich glaube einfach, und davon bin ich überzeugt, dass wir am Sonntag auch gewinnen können.
Danke sehr. Becke, kannst du vielleicht auch ergänzend vielleicht zu den letzten Ausführungen des Trainers, ihr seid da immer sehr, sehr eng abgestimmt und immer mehrfach täglichen Austausch aus deiner Sicht noch weitere Sätze sagen?
Ja, ich glaube einfach, dass wichtig ist, ich meine, man muss sich als Verein auch entwickeln. Ja, ich glaube, wir haben uns auch für den Johannes entschieden, weil er einfach auch immer in sehr professionellen Umfeld gearbeitet hat, um uns da einfach auch zu unterstützen, gewisse Sachen einfach zu adaptieren und zu verbessern. Man darf sich jetzt auch nicht die Augen verschließen. Wir haben seit vielen, vielen Jahren keinen Titel gewonnen. Wir reden zwar immer vom Titel, aber haben schon lange nicht mehr gewonnen. Und ich glaube, wir müssen uns einfach titelfähig machen als Club. Und da gilt es, sich zu verbessern, in vielen Bereichen sich professionell aufzustellen, in vielen Bereichen alles nochmal zu hinterfragen, was hat man gemacht in der Vergangenheit, wie kann man das vielleicht in Zukunft anders oder besser machen. Kleines Beispiel ist sicher auch die Verfügbarkeit der Spieler. Ich glaube, dass das auch mit ein Grund war und das haben wir auch in der Analyse, ist für uns klar geworden, dass wir da oft gescheitert sind, wenn wir an Dahl, an Isaac Janssen letzte Saison, an Wurmbrand, auch an Mbui immer zur Verfügung gehabt hätten oder viel öfter zur Verfügung gehabt hätten, sind einfach die Key-Player. Und dann, glaube ich, wären auch viele Spiele dann ganz anders ausgegangen und dann wären wir jetzt vielleicht in einem ganz anderen Moment. Deswegen kann ich es wiederholen, wir wollen uns immer weiterentwickeln, wir wollen uns immer verbessern und einfach auch dann irgendwann einmal so aufstellen, dass wir so arbeiten, dass wir auch dann wirklich mal ganz vorne angreifen können.
Danke sehr. Bitte, erste Reihe, Florian, den Alex Huber vom Kurier.
Coach, you said you know what Austria will play, what will give to the match. Is there a possibility that Rapid will surprise the opponent?
Surprise, I think, just like you saw, there was a difference between the Ried game and the Hartberg game in terms of how we built up the game and how we had our positions in some different phases of the game. There can also be differences here. We know how the shape looks like in Austria Wien. We don't know how their agreements will be on game day. We don't know if they go man for man in their high pressing, if they go a little bit lower, if they change it. We just need to have solutions for everything, and that's what we try to do. And then, of course, we try to find some weaknesses that we can exploit and we can get something, some goals out of. And that's what we have tried to do.
Alex Dragovic said 1 hour ago, it seems that Rapid is like an injured boxer, and this is very dangerous. Do you see it like him?
Both yes and no. I think. Are we injured? Yeah, I think there's many good things in the game we've just played Saturday afternoon. So I think we are about to get back again. I understand what he means because we're not satisfied with our position in the table and also the result Saturday. So we still have to find that moment where we become successful again. Also short term with a win. But I think we have seen a little bit of what we can do and what also we can expect to be able to do. So yeah, I think it's both yes and no.
Bitte gleich rein nach hinten, Erik.
Question to the coach. Manfred Fischer, the captain of Austria Vienna, said that the heated speech of the coach before the Salzburg match was the basis of their win last week. Which type of speech can your players expect on Sunday at 4:45? Or how do you handle this topic? Is there a player who will do the speech, or is it your thing?
Yeah, it's a good question because I think you have to handle every situation different. So I always try to get a feeling of where the team is. What does the team need from me in that particular moment? Do I need to fire them up? Do I need to actually take it easy and be calm? That's a lot about that's a lot about my thoughts going into that. I prepare a little bit of both, so I'm prepared for what I can do in both scenarios. But I have to get a feeling of the players, because last thing I want to do if they are anxious is to create more anxiety. But sometimes it can be useful. So I guess when the player says like he says, then that was probably what they needed for that game from their coach. And I think the good coaches find out exactly what the players need in the exact moment. And that will be my job on Sunday.
Dankeschön. Bitte, Rainer.
I think the players should be fired up. How satisfied was with the energy in the last game? Everyone's talking about the second half of the last game, not the first 3 halves, rapid played. And I have the feeling that some players were nearly pleased with the draw against Hartberg after the game. I was missing the energy, especially after the equalizer. I expected more power, maybe long balls into the box, forcing the win. I haven't seen that. I think the players should be fired up. How satisfied with the energy? What do the players need? Becoming a team, especially when talking about fire, energy, mentality, all these things we missed in the first part of the season.
Yeah, I think there's two answers to that. I think the way that we play will probably in some games, or hopefully in most of the games, open up a lot of space for us the last 20 minutes because the opposition will be tired. And I think we saw that against Hartberg. I have to say I completely disagree with you when you say we lacked energy the last 20 minutes. I think after the goal we scored, we probably have our best 15 minutes in the game in that moment. And
no power in the box.
No, but in the moment, in these 15 minutes we had 4 corner kicks, and we had Archie's chance where he shoots at the keeper, where we could create a bigger one. He could make a square pass to create an even bigger chance. It's still in my world a chance. We have a lot of stuff going on in the box with crosses where the ball is bouncing in the box. Gulik could shoot at goal from 2 occasions at that time. Like I said, we won a lot of set piece situations just around the box, which is also a consequence of putting a team under pressure. And I think we did in the last 5 minutes of the game, especially the extra time, after they probably have the injury and he gets the treatment, that kills the game. And we cannot really find the rhythm again after that. But I will actually say, leading up to that, I can agree, maybe not the biggest chances, but a lot going on in and around the box. And I think we were pushing, and I think the players were running forward and trying to bring the ball in the box, and also some earlier crosses from Bendy, a couple of scenarios that gave us also corner kicks. So okay, if I have to agree, not enough chances, but I think the energy was there.
Normally it's the phrase looking game by game and avoid watching on the table. I think that's not possible anymore at the situation. What do you think about the pressure your team has now for this derby? Because I think you're forced to win it. What does it mean for your game tactic? Maybe a draw is not enough.
Yes, of course we have to look at different scenarios. We play every game to win. I think that's what we can expect of this team, and also what I expect from the players here, that we have to approach every game as an opportunity for us to win. Then we have to look at how the game develops. So what are our chances in the game? Because there can also be moments in games where we have to be satisfied with a draw. That's not how we go into this one on Sunday, because I think there is opportunities for us to win it, and we have discussed today and yesterday, and we'll also do it tomorrow just to finalize it. One thing is how we start the game, what team is on the pitch to start with, and then we have made a plan for how we're going to end the game. So probably the last 30 minutes, and we have discussed already now, how is the team going to look like? What kind of players is it we need on pitch the last 30 minutes of a game? Because that's often where you see in football most goals are being scored the last 30 minutes, and also a lot of set-piece situations the last 30 minutes. So that's the way that we plan it. So we have hopefully everything covered, and then the game will tell us where the opportunities will be. So that's also something where we have to be really, really sharp in analyzing what's going on in front of us.
Dankeschön. Ich denke, dürften durch sein. Thanks Johannes, thanks Coach, danke Mecki und allen einen schönen Freitag und hoffentlich auf ein schönes grün-weißes Derby.